Hello, welcome back to Earth Sky. I'm Deborah Byrd speaking to you live on August 18th. This chart is for tomorrow morning, Tuesday, August 19th, but it'll help you for some days after that. On the morning of the 19th, you can see that the moon is poised above a line of three planets. These are all in the sunrise direction, the east at dawn. And by far the brightest of the two are Venus and Jupiter. But the most elusive of the bright planets is also in the east before dawn now, or at dawn. It's the one seen by only a small fraction of Earth's inhabitants, the planet Mercury. I saw it this morning. It's really there. And Venus and Jupiter are pointing to it. There are more planets in this month's planet parade, which I'll tell you about coming up. But Mercury first, it's not every day we can see it. Mercury is our sun's innermost planet. It orbits the sun every 88 days, so its year is just 88 Earth days long. Mercury is the fastest planet in orbit, and it goes between us and the sun pretty often, about every 116 days. It last sailed between us and the sun on August 1st. And that's when it reached a point in its orbit known to astronomers as inferior conjunction. So it was a conjunction because Mercury and the sun were close in our sky. And they call it inferior because it was between us and the sun. And since then, Mercury has been speeding ahead of Earth in orbit. And this chart shows August 12th, the day of the amazing conjunction of Venus and Jupiter just last week. At that point, Mercury was just re-emerging in the eastern pre-dawn sky below brilliant Venus and bright Jupiter. And lots of people were looking, but I didn't see Mercury that day. It was still too close to the sunrise. And though we saw lots of photos of the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, I can't recall any that showed Mercury on August 12th. But now, as August progresses and as Jupiter ascends higher in the east before dawn, pulling away from Venus, Mercury has also been climbing up away from the sunrise, and it'll reach its greatest distance from the rising sun tomorrow, August 19th. Astronomers call this a greatest elongation of Mercury. And here's something else. If you haven't seen it yet, don't give up because Mercury is going to be getting brighter over the coming mornings. So Mercury, elusive Mercury, is going to be possible to see for the coming 10 days or so until just before the end of August. And you can become one of the small fraction of people on Earth who've seen it. Remember, look east before sunrise. Brilliant Jupiter, up, brilliant Venus. Venus is the brighter one. And bright Jupiter, Jupiter's also very bright, are pointing to Mercury. And if you have a nice, wide open, cloud-free sky, you can look for this mighty asterism too, this noticeable pattern of stars, which we in the Northern Hemisphere associate with winter evenings. We call it the winter hexagon or winter circle. This image is from Earth Sky community member Mei Ying Li in Taipei, Taiwan. And she's marked the name of the stars in white here, and maybe you can see the planets marked in yellow with little Mercury just coming out of the dawn. And so there are lots of bright stars in this part of the sky now. It's just a beautiful place to look. Mei Ying, thank you. And just a bit more about Mercury, and then we'll get to that morning planet parade. Old science books sometimes called Mercury the moon of the sun. Astronomers thought it always kept one face toward the sun, much as our moon always keeps a single face toward Earth. But beginning in the 1960s, radar observation showed that Mercury does turn slowly under the sun. Its day lasts 59 Earth days. And remember, its year it's just 88 Earth days long. So Mercury rotates 3 times on its axis for every 2 orbits around the sun. And scientists call this a 3-2 spin orbit resonance. In more recent years, the Mercury Messenger spacecraft has studied Mercury's surface and captured images like this one. So Mercury isn't a moon of the sun, as old-time astronomy books thought, but we today know that it does look a lot like Earth's moon. And we know that Mercury's close orbit to the sun means it shifts between our morning and evening skies. The blue humps here show the morning appearances, and the gray humps show Mercury in the evening. So this chart is by UK astronomer Guy Ottewell. In the post notes, you'll find a link to a page at earthsky.org, which also displays this chart and explains it. Generally speaking, Mercury has 6 elongations each year, 6 best times to see the planet farthest from the sun in our sky. And the morning elongation on August 19th, at that elongation, Mercury will be only 19 degrees from the sun on our sky's dome. And that's not nearly as far as it can get from the sun. At its farthest, it can stretch out to a distance of 28 degrees from the sun before falling back into the sunrise or sunset. So just know that spring evenings and autumn mornings are best for Mercury, no matter where you are. And this August morning elongation of Mercury isn't the greatest. Mercury will stay really close to the sunrise. But it's saved by the fact that Mercury will be getting brighter for the rest of August. It'll be brighter, but closer to the sunrise. As so often happens, it's a trade-off. So you'll want to get out there at dawn soon to see Mercury. You'll need an unobstructed eastern horizon. And now think of this. What if you wanted to flip your perspective? Suppose instead of standing on the Earth, you were above the solar system looking down. And here's a portion of that top-down view of our solar system in August 2025. You see the sun there in yellow, and the blue arrow points between Earth and Mercury this week as both worlds are moving in orbit. And maybe you see that Mercury is blasting along in its close orbit around the sun, and Earth is trailing behind. And so why does Mercury get brighter in late August, even though it's fleeing ahead of us? It's because our perspective on it is shifting, and we're seeing more and more of its lighted half or day side. And now, finally, about that planet parade in the morning sky. I've talked about 3 planets, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury. Here's a 4th planet you can easily see, Saturn. It's not nearly as bright as Venus or Jupiter, but you can see it high in the west in early morning. It's distinctly golden in color, and it doesn't twinkle as the stars do. It shines with a steady golden light. You'll see it along the path that the sun travels in daytime, the green line on our charts. And finally, for those with optical aid, there are 6 planets in the early morning sky in the last 2 weeks of August. So here's the August planet parade you might have seen in memes on the internet. Just know that it's doubtful or even impossible to see all 6 of these planets at once. Venus and Jupiter, yes, they are the 2 brightest objects in the sky aside from the sun and moon. And Saturn, yes, if you look outside before dawn, you'll see Saturn. But you have to wait until dawn to see Mercury. It doesn't rise until morning twilight begins. So maybe you can still glimpse Saturn in the morning twilight when Mercury is visible too. But Uranus and Neptune, no way to see Uranus and Neptune in the twilight. To see them, you need a dark sky and binoculars or a small telescope. Any twilight in the sky will wash them from view. And that brings us back to this lovely chart. The moon poised above the planets, and Tuesday mornings eastern sky before sunrise. The moon will be moving past these planets this week, and it's going to be beautiful. I saw all of these worlds this morning. They're up there waiting for you too. One Earth, one sky, Earth sky.